My name is Frank Schroll, and welcome to Waterview Farm. So I've been here, this was my parents' place. I've been here since I was 13 years old. I always had animals. I was always interested in I had chickens when I first moved here, actually. And I got some goats and some sheep, and graduated to alpacas and egg layers, chickens, and then I started doing farmers markets probably like 15 years ago. I used to do machining work for years. I retired from that, and I'm doing this farmers markets full time now. So I grow a lot of stuff. We'll take you up in the back there later and show you some of that stuff. So what inspired me and how long? So up in the back here where we're going to go, where I grow, is my grandparents' property. So I came from Bridgeport, and I was actually, I lived in Bridgeport until I was 12 years old, moved up here at that point, and been here ever since. I always had a garden. Even when I was a kid in Bridgeport, I had a little garden. When I moved up here, I always had a garden. And when my grandfather passed away, there's a big area up there. I just started growing on that. I just grew pumpkins and stuff. It was just a hobby type of a thing. And then basically when the farmer's market came to town, I took a walk through it and says, I could do this. And it's like, I always liked doing that kind of stuff. So what produce that I produce is, well, firstly, I have several hundred laying chickens. So I bring eggs to farmers markets. I grow all kinds of the normal vegetables like squash, tomatoes, cucumbers, all that stuff, just about everything. And then I also, I buy stuff from another farm, the things that I don't grow, like corn and some fruits and berries. I buy that stuff from another farm and resell it. So why is it important to me to be in the Alliance market? I would just say that I do several farmers markets, and everybody, what keeps you going, this is a ton of work. It's an absolute ton of work. I started planting, here we are in the middle of June. I started planting about 5-6 weeks ago. As far as putting it outside, you start growing. I grow everything from seed, and I have several greenhouses, and so it's usually about February is when I start planting seeds and seed trays and getting the greenhouses going. And then it's nonstop all summer long. You basically, because there's certain things like squash and cucumbers, you have to succession plant. So that goes. So you have that stuff all season long. So it's just, it's a tremendous amount of work, but it's worth it when you go. I've gone to farmers markets, and people have literally come running up to me the following week and says, "Wow, what I bought from you, it lasted all week. It was just great." And it's like, appreciate what you're doing. So that's kind of a driving force that keeps you going. It really is, and that's what I would say about that. So as far as buying local, it's well, you're getting a much better product than you are in a grocery store. We hear time and time again at farmers markets that especially when we get towards the end of it in October, people are like, "Oh, we got to buy things back. We got to go back to the grocery store and buy things. Everything's, it's terrible there," and you hear more and more that all the preservatives and chemicals they're putting on all your produce. Although I'm not certified by the state, I do practice organic. I practice organic farming. Most of my stuff would basically be classified as organic. So you're getting a much better. It's fresher. I have a refrigerated box truck that I show up throughout the week when I start harvesting stuff. It goes right in the truck, and like I said, I have a refrigerated truck. It goes in there, and then when I show up to farmers markets, my stuff is much better than even some other farmers that don't have the refrigeration capacity that I do. If I don't sell it that week, it usually, if it's anything like lettuce or squash or anything like that, I just give it to the local, the food banks. I give the stuff to the food banks, and then I bring new fresh stuff every week. So that would be it.